Welcome to the Sober Edge podcast, inspiration for alcohol-free living. I'm your host, Terry Patterson, functional nutritionist and This Naked Mind senior coach. The Sober Edge is a place to explore the infinite possibilities on the other side of drinking. In a culture soaked in booze, discover the wonder and joy of taking a different path. Meet real people living lives of purpose and passion, learn the truth behind the alcohol myths, and get ready to be motivated, inspired, and astounded by what is possible with the Sober Edge. Well, hey everyone, it's Terry back with another edition of the Sober Edge podcast. And today it's just me and you. So it is the 24th of December, 2024, as I record this podcast. And I wanted to share an episode that I'm calling My Christmas Wish. So I was thinking and reflecting these last few weeks around why it's so powerful for me to share this message and do this work and talk to people about the difference between living alcohol free. And for me, this is my 10th Christmas that I have been celebrating an alcohol-free Christmas. And it really is such an incredible shift. My husband is amazing, and he's recently been doing this really fun thing the last couple of years where he has the 12 days of Christmas and he sends old photos. So first of all, he has to scan them to his computer, and then he sends out photos year by year to his siblings and some of our nephews and our children. And the 12 Days of Christmas is a beautiful look back at the past. And he started this year, I think, in the 1990s. Last year, he did the 1960s, 70s, 80s, something like that. And so it's been incredible to look at those Christmases from 25 years ago and even further back, 35 years ago, and see my children small, see, the younger versions of ourselves, and also to notice that there was a lot of joy and a lot of love and a lot of fun, even in those years when I was drinking on a regular basis and many times during the holidays over drinking. And so what I always want people to know and understand in this journey is that I don't regret. That's not true. It's not about regret. But when I look at the past, I don't want to, wish the past away. I don't ever want to say that this isn't an important part of my life. Like those years were tainted by alcohol. And some of them certainly were. And definitely surrounding the holidays, there was pain and strife, and drinking played a part in all of that. I could certainly remember some New Year's Eves that I can only remember part of them, and they were definitely way more boozy and, just not fun memories. But for the most part, Christmas really has been something that I can look back at and laugh and enjoy and remember the fond times. And I think it's really powerful to remember that we don't need to wish the past away. But as I look toward the future and I think about the gift of being alcohol free for these last 10 Christmases, it's really been such a key part of my life. And I thought about what simple thing could I share here as we enter 2025 that might be slightly different than maybe some other alcohol-free coaches or life coaches. And I thought, my Christmas wish, my New Year's wish for people is to explore what this experience might mean in your life. I was recently on a coaching call with a group, and a gentleman shared that as he was missing alcohol and had been out of his life for about a month, he decided to try some drinks with THC. And he was so thankful that he had done that. And it was a kind of a miserable experience. And he shared that it took him right back into that place of feeling guilty, but kind of feeling excited by doing something that he probably shouldn't be doing. There was a little bit of that risk involved. There was also a little bit of fear, how easily his brain wanted to get super excited by an alternate substance. And then that real feeling of like, wow, I don't want to live in this altered state anymore. And, the most beautiful thing for me in this journey has been getting to know myself without the armor or the buffer of alcohol. And so when I think about my Christmas wish for everyone, it's not that I think everyone needs to stop drinking forever. However, I do believe that for almost all of us, we can benefit by taking a break. And in this space that we create with a break of 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, 12 months, we can start to explore how we can go inward. For me, and for so many of the people that I have been able to coach and to connect with on this journey who were on a similar path, the alcohol was getting in the way of us being our most authentic, truest, slightly vulnerable, messy self, our human self. And really anything that gets in the way of our human heart and our condition is not welcome in my life anymore. And so I think this gentleman on the coaching call was sharing that he felt that way too. Like, I don't want to check out of life anymore. And I know that for many of us, there are struggles and pain and sorrow. And, I have some of that as well. And in all of it, in all of the hard things that have happened in the last 9+ years, I wouldn't trade alcohol and the buffering that alcohol provided. I wouldn't want to go back to, if someone offered me the opportunity to numb that, I would not want to, because in the messiness is the real person underneath. And when I let go of alcohol, I started to discover and to trust myself more. And it's not that life is perfect, but it's real. And I think with alcohol, what I've realized with so many people sharing a similar journey, that it's a false sense of living. And as I, am now in my mid 60s or almost in my mid 60s, I don't want to miss out on living. Time feels precious and important and significant, especially looking back at those 12 days of Christmas in those photos that my husband shared. I realize how much time has passed. And so much of it has been a beautiful life. But there was a number of years where I wasn't truly living. I was going through the motions. I was just getting by. I was wishing there was more, but I was disconnected from the possibility of reaching that. And so when I think about what I wish for all of you, it is that opportunity to get to know the real you and to show up in a way that is more beautiful and more mysterious and more magical than we can ever imagine. I have always wanted to be, a better person. I've always been on a personal development, personal growth journey since my, late teens. And so this quest to find out more and to go deeper and to be more open and to be more connected to the human condition is not new, but there's such a shift now that alcohol isn't in the way. And I think it's true for anything that alters our reality. And there's so many beautiful ways to find tools that will help us get through these difficult and challenging times that don't require us to abandon ourselves. And those things like meditation and breath work and community groups, and perhaps it's a spiritual quest for you. Maybe it's your church community. Maybe it's service. Maybe it's gratitude. There are ways to be all in and not feel defeated by life. And when I was drinking, I didn't know how to access these tools and this opportunity to do it differently. And so, again, I think that where my passion and heart really lies in helping people on this journey is to just offer this gift. And the gift is in each of us. And it's this beautiful human connection that is so relevant and so simple and yet so profound. And so, as we just came out of the darkest day of 2024, and we're moving into the light, and we're noticing the energy of the new year just around the corner, my wish for all of you is to take that risk of putting aside the mask of alcohol, the mask of hiding behind something, and step into your real life now before it passes you by. Time is so fleeting, and I've realized that as I have focused on what it means to be in this place at this age with my family growing and changing, and life is fluid. I've been doing a reading almost 9 months now, a daily reading in the works of Mark Nepo, who is a poet. And it was a beautiful gift from a client, the Book of Awakening. And he speaks so eloquently and so beautifully. And he shares so much wisdom and teachers from the Buddhist tradition, from the Christian tradition, from the Native American tradition. And it just continues to break my heart open in new ways and remind me of how truly connected we all are. And Dr. Becky Kennedy has become just someone that I don't know all of her work, but I love just the little bits that I have taken away from the work that she does. And she mostly likes to offer her wisdom to parents and children and young families. But she has these beautiful phrases, one of which is, there are no bad children. There are just children having a bad day. And I want to say that to you. There are no bad humans. There are just humans having a bad day. And I want to invite you to give yourself grace, give yourself permission, give yourself the gift of possibility and opportunity to move into a new relationship with you. And so that is my Christmas wish. And I will take a moment to just say that I'm so grateful to be able to talk about these things and to have an audience who will accept and receive and listen. And it's always such a privilege when someone tells me that my podcasts or my Tea with Terry or the words I speak have meaning. But that's not always why I do it, or not the only reason that I do it. Is I also do it because it feeds something in my soul. It helps me feel deeply connected to this human spirit. And I want to invite you again to consider allowing your spirit to flourish in this season where you are right now. Thank you so much for being in my circle and spending some time with me today. I wish you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and all of the blessings of this beautiful season. Thank you. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Sober Edge podcast. This is a place for important conversations and a safe place to question everything you thought you knew about drinking. If you're looking for your sober edge, I want to invite you to connect with me at thesobernutritionist.com, where you can grab my free resource, Becoming More, a guide to loving your sober life. And I would be so grateful if you enjoyed this podcast, if you would leave a rating and review, as it will help more people find their sober edge.